everybody! It's me, Katie Meuse. Welcome back to another episode of A Respectful Conversation. Or if it's your first time, welcome to A Respectful Conversation. This is my podcast where we just sit down. I have guests. We talk about whatever the guest wants to talk about, whatever they're passionate about. They choose the topic. Today, my guest is one of my dearest friends, Grace Graham. Say hello, Grace.
Hello, Katie. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I love a respectful conversation. I want a respectful conversation water bottle sticker.
Oh, dude, someday.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Oh my god. All right, happy fall, everybody. Today, if this video goes up on YouTube, you can probably guess what the topic is. Also, I put it in the title, so you already know. Grace, what's the topic?
Folks, today we are talking about the one, the only, Tim Burton. Now that name might provoke so we'll get into why.
We'll get into why it's mixed feelings.
Yeah, why
love that. I'm super excited for this episode because it's Grace, and also because this is our first biographical episode where it's about a person. I mean, I did my astrology one where I talked about people, but this is solely dedicated to a person in their career, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
So go for it, Grace. Why Tim Burton?
So Tim Burton, like I said, either a or a ugh, because unfortunately I think, and we'll get into it, his career's taken such a nosedive because of the kind of deal that he has going with Disney and all the Disney movies that you see, because all of his movies now are Disney movies. So that's probably where the ugh comes from for some people. The for me is his early work. I first came across Tim Burton in 2006 maybe, when Corpse Bride came out, and that was my first Tim Burton movie. And he is, I kid you not, he's the reason why I wanted to be an artist. With him, the male influences of celebrities for me are him and David Bowie, and that's those are my two guys. And it just, when I first saw a Tim Burton movie, it was a world I'd never seen before, which is, I'm sure, how the world felt when Tim Burton was first introduced. So yeah, he just he kind of made the darkness okay, and made it fun to explore, because it's not, because Corpse Bride is so much fun, but it's a dark movie. It's literally a corpse bride, but it wasn't a Disney princess movie, it was something so different.
Yeah,
I love it.
The whimsy still.
Exactly, yeah. So let me just pull up my notes. So Katie, what was your first Tim Burton experience? Tim Burton movie?
Ooh, I'd have to remember. I'd guess probably. I already feel the shame creeping up. Probably Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my god, okay.
Not even Nightmare Before Christmas, probably Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's amazing. Hold that. We'll get there. Because I go back and forth on that movie.
Yeah.
That movie, today in this day and age, people are ugh, but
yeah.
But that's actually huge on TikTok right now. There's some person that dresses up as Willy Wonka and does dances.
I saw a video of a girl talking about that yesterday, I think, and I was like, oh, okay.
I love it. It's just, it's perfect. All right, so Timothy Walter Burton was born August 25th, 1958, so he is a Virgo.
Oh, the season right now.
Yeah, exactly, which makes sense why I love him, because I'm a Pisces, and we're sister signs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
If I had to guess, I would say that he has Aries, Leo, and Capricorn in his chart.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess. Yeah, that's all on that.
I can see it. I can see that.
So as a kid, he loved to make like short films and movies in his backyard on an 8mm. And the one they have on record, he made a film called The Island of Dr. Agor, which he made when he was 13. I think it's kind of crazy that they have that as like a record. Like noted, that was when it began. So he had a relationship with Disney like really early on. And you wouldn't think that because you can see where his movies like go, but they offered him an apprenticeship at the studio, and he worked as an animator, storyboard artist, and graphic designer, and an art director and a concept artist for, get this, for The Fox and the Hound, Tron, the Black Cauldron. But his concept art never made it into the films, which sucks.
Oh,
like that's so awful.
What a funny trio for him to have worked on.
I kind of don't want to see his concept art for The Fox and the Hound.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that one especially.
Yeah, or the Black Cauldron.
True. At least that one, like, I don't know. That one probably would make me cry.
That movie's like scary enough as it is. Like, right. I can't believe they were gonna make a ride of it at like, I think it was like Disneyland Tokyo or something.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, that, I tell you, Katie, that like abandoned Disney rides is another respectful conversation to have.
Ooh, someday.
So the next, before I get into like the rest of his films and my opinions on them, and also your opinions on them, he made Frankenweenie, the OG Frankenweenie. So it tells the story of a young boy who like tries to bring his dog back to life after it got hit by a car. It's bad. The first one, it is bad. And Disney, I don't think oh, that's right, Disney fired him.
Was it?
Yep, because they were like, this is too much. Shelley Duvall's in it, fun fact. So, they were like, this is too much for kids. I think it was released, I don't know if it was ever released in, like, theaters or on TV. I think it is released on DVD. Like, I have a vivid memory of looking on the Shop Disney website for it and finding it. So after this is when he starts making real movies. Well, not real movies, feature-length movies. So the first movie he ever did was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Which I've never seen. I don't like Pee Wee Herman, personally. Pee Wee Herman irritates me, which I know is kind of the point of Pee Wee Herman. But yeah, so I've never seen this one, and I haven't seen several of his movies, but I like know and have researched and seen them about. But this one I've never seen. So next is Beetlejuice. Have you seen Beetlejuice, Katie?
I saw it for the first time at like the end of last year, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I big fan. Big fan. I think I saw it at the right time in my life. I don't think I would have handled it well as a child. But yeah. And Broadway, cool. Yeah, it's on Broadway.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it's funny you say that. I actually wasn't allowed to watch Beetlejuice as a kid. And it's not that I wasn't allowed, but for any content reason, my mother is terrified to this day of Beetlejuice. She,
The man himself?
Yes. Like the man himself. She saw it, I think she saw it in theaters, and she like had nightmares for weeks. But it's to a point where she can't even hear the name Beetlejuice. If it's on TV, I think I've talked about this before, but it's so extreme that like, literally, I kid you not, Katie, we were out at TJ Maxx yesterday, and for some reason Beetlejuice, in my opinion, has made like a huge revival this year.
Specifically?
Yeah, maybe it's like, I don't know when the anniversary of it is, but maybe it's something like that, but I have seen more Beetlejuice merchandise like this year than ever before.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we were in TJ Maxx yesterday, and I see like a row of like Beetlejuice shot glasses, and so I'm like, Mom, don't look down. And of course she's just like, and looks right down. Like, why would you? And then audibly in the store she goes, ah! She's like, oh, no, that's that man I don't like. I was like, why did you?
It's that man I don't like.
Yes, but anyway, so I had to hide Beetlejuice. I got the DVD from a Blockbuster, believe it or not. When Blockbuster was going out of business, I bought the DVD. And this was so long ago, and I first saw it with my other friend Katie at her beach house, and I brought it home with me. I had to hide it in the back of my closet because my mom was like, I don't want to see it anywhere in the house. So obviously this made me love it even more. Beetlejuice was actually a really low budget movie, and this kind of started his like producers saw that he could like make movies for nothing, and then they were like, why don't we give him a big budget, because he's been turning these out and they've been box office hits. Beetlejuice, the film itself, I love because it's such early him. It's got everything, but it's not too much, in my opinion. Like even the like sandworms and the claymation is so random, but I love it. It also got an Academy Award for Best Makeup, which it should have, because the makeup in the movie is insane. I can't wait to watch it. I love Beetlejuice. Such a fun time.
Dude, it's like a new favorite of mine. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I feel like it's fresh in my head, but I still would like watch it tomorrow to be like, yay, fall's coming.
In my head, it's one of his like best movies because, and, like critically, in the way people look at it, they're like, maybe it's not his best, but I think it's his best in capturing his aesthetic without it being too much. Because there are times,
The cast. It's a stacked cast.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He has stacked casts.
Yeah.
So next was Batman. I've never seen Batman. I'm not a Batman chick. I've only seen the Heath Ledger Batman. But something that he did that I kind of love was he cast Michael Keaton a la Beetlejuice. You see where I'm going. As Batman. And originally the producers were pissed at him because they were like, why would you cast him? He's like a skinny dude. Like, he's not a bulked up, like, sex symbol. And he was like, well, why would I do that? Because Batman's kind of an everyman until he puts on the suit. And then he kicks people's butts. And I was like, wait, that's so smart.
It's super smart. Oh.
Yeah. Have you seen Batman? I didn't think you were.
I have not seen any of the Batmans, no.
And that's fair.
I know Ben Affleck's Batman, but he hasn't had a solo movie, so I say I have not seen a Batman.
Ben Affleck Batman. Oh gosh. I know it. I'm sure it's good, and I'm sure that the aesthetic, like the art direction, the pictures I've seen from it are amazing, and Jack Nicholson as the Joker is like terrifying, and the makeup for that is terrifying. Yep. But I think choosing him to do Batman's perfect because I could see Gotham City, like in his brain, like is what every city looks like to him, you know? So next he did Edward Scissorhands. Have you seen Edward Scissorhands, Katie?
Yes, I have.
Oh, what do you think of, I'd love to know, what do you think of Edward Scissorhands?
I don't know. I didn't see it too long ago in the grand scheme of things. I feel like by the end, I feel like I remember being unsatisfied. I think. I like the character of Edward Scissorhands. That is, what would you say before? Emo Whimsy?
Emo Whimsy, yeah.
So, like, I like Scissorhands for that reason. I think, I don't remember why I struggled with the rest of it. I feel like Winona Ryder's character annoyed me.
So with this movie, I equate it to Up, like Disney's Up. And hear me out. Here's why. Because I do love Up dearly, but I feel like when you get to the Island of the Dogs thing, the whole movie like goes downhill and you're like, what's going on? I feel like you get to a certain point in that with Edward Scissorhands. Like there's a scene where like they use him to like pick a lock to open the door so these kids can go rob a house, and I was like, I don't have the attention span for this anymore. But yes, emo Whimsy is like perfect for Edward Scissorhands, and it's also because the character of Edward Scissorhands was actually based off of Tim Burton in high school.
Oh.
Yeah, and his like inability to communicate with other people. And I think it's wholesome. Like,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp gives a great performance. This is like one of his first big movies, because he was in 21 Jump Street before, like the TV series before this, and I don't know if like Gilbert Grape was before or after this, but this was Johnny Depp's first weird role. And I think he's amazing in it, and I just want to give Edward a little hug.
Yeah, I remember that. I forget everything else.
Yeah, just a pat.
For Edward.
Pet for Edward. This movie, I love and hate this movie. Not hate. I love and dislike this movie because, like I said, the plot kind of falls apart, but it's kind of autobiographical because it's kind of like Burton's life in suburbia in Burbank. And I think suburbia is portrayed so well in this movie. And and it makes you hate it because like you hate all the neighbors and you hate all the hedges and the white picket fences. And the movie does its job in that way, and it makes you love Edward because he's so not that. And people use him and exploit him for that. And it's his first Vincent Price collaboration. Vincent Price has a little cameo in this. I actually think this was the only one he did before he passed away. It was his first like Tim collaboration, but his like last screen appearance. So after that is Batman Returns. Haven't seen it. I've seen bits and bobs from it. I know that people were not happy with it. People were uncomfortable with the overt like sexuality in it. And people were really uncomfortable with Michelle Pfeiffer's portrayal of Catwoman, which I think is interesting because I think she kind of owns it, really. And she owns her sexuality. And the fact that it made people uncomfortable, I'm like, okay.
The reverse of movies aging poorly.
Yeah, right? But again, I haven't seen it, so...
Yeah, I mean,
but
that's
I still...
the vibe I've gotten, though, whenever I've seen, like, clips of it or something.
Yeah, and I personally, I mean, I think it's awesome when a character or a person owns their sexuality and uses it as, like, a superpower, so... I think she ate a live bird in this movie.
Oh.
I think she, like, actually put a bird in her mouth. That's fun.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah, you know, just pop it in there. So Danny DeVito's in this movie as the Penguin, and I've seen clips of him playing that, and I think it's awesome, and the makeup's awesome, so I think the next installation of the Penguin, like Colin Farrell, has a lot to live up to. So next is The Nightmare Before Christmas, and fun fact, Nightmare Before Christmas. Batman Returns was such a huge production that Tim Burton was not able to direct this movie. He was so busy with Batman Returns that he did not direct it. Henry Selick directed it, and Henry Selick directed Coraline.
Oh!
But it is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's based off of his story and his ideas, so that's why he, like, gets all the money and all the fame from it. But they like collaborated in it, and because it was so successful, their collaboration, they actually worked on James and the Giant Peach, which I forgot existed until this morning when I was writing these notes.
Yeah, that might be my actual first Tim Burton one then.
Yeah, that's the thing, you have no idea that, like, but that one, I was thinking back on it too, because I was like, I used to watch that a lot as a kid. I think I would kind of be disturbed if I watched it now. Because, like...
I remember it being scary.
Yeah, but, like, the aunts in that are terrifying. And I remember that, like, at the end, they, like, hang them up by a crane in New York City. Oh, maybe I'll add that to my rewatch list. I bet that's a trip. So, yes, Nightmare Before Christmas. We all know it. We all love it. That's probably his most famous... production. When it was released, though, they actually released it under Touchstone Pictures, which was Disney's, like, sister studio. Sister.
Cousin.
Yeah, which that's where they would put, like, the PG-13 movies. Yeah, yeah, and then Disney realized what they had, and they were like, we'll take it back. We'll snatch that back. But it didn't really see the amount of merchandise and everything, because I walked into Spirit of Halloween yesterday, and everything was Nightmare Before Christmas.
But yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is big emo Whimsy. Like,
It is.
Like, it's just trendy.
It is, but like Jack is such a sad boy in it, you know?
I love Jack Skellington so much, because I too am a sad boy. I too identify as a sad boy. So I love Jack. That's why I get excited about Danny Elfman, is because he's like the singing voice for Jack.
Yes, he is. And he just goes for it. And it's great. But that's the thing. I think Nightmare Before Christmas, as I was saying, like the merchandise did not become big until like the early 2000s. Like I was definitely a go into Hot Topic Nightmare Before Christmas kid. And like Nightmare Before Christmas was my life. But yeah, and I think that happened to kind of quite a few of his movies. Now I'm saying it. Like Beetlejuice before wasn't like huge until now.
Corpse Bride's another one.
Yeah, Corpse Bride. Oh my god. So this was his first stop motion, but he like I said, he didn't direct it. And Disney was mad because they wanted Jack to have eyes.
Oh my god.
So that's why they put it through Touchstone, because they were mad that he didn't have eyes. And they were like, kids want to see his eyes.
Oh my god, what?
Right?
That's insane. The part of genius and the comedy is that like his holes, like his bone can move like he has a brow.
Exactly.
Like like he does have like the empty holes are the eyes. That's Disney. It has to be PG-13 because he doesn't have eyeballs.
So next was Ed Wood. Katie, have you ever heard of Ed Wood?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. If I've heard of it, it's probably from you.
Probably. So Ed Wood, I saw many, many years ago. And I hated it. I did not like it. It's all done in black and white, and it's Johnny Depp. And in further reflection on it, a lot of critics say that it's secretly one of Burton's best movies. So Johnny Depp plays director Ed Wood, and Ed Wood made a bunch of terrible science fiction movies. Yeah. So like he made like Plan 9 from Outer Space. And it's something so different. It was a commercial failure when it came out. But it was really something different for Burton, because he hadn't done a biopic, whatever the heck you say. I don't know. I say biopic. I really kind of hate people who say biopic. Sorry, no offense, but if I hear you say biopic, I'm gonna leave your house.
I really kind of hate. That's funny.
But sorry, be respectful. If you say biopic, that's okay. I don't like it. So Ed Wood, here's the thing. I have not watched it in a very long time. I would bet money it has not aged well. Because Ed Wood, the main character, likes to dress up in women's clothing.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. There we go. And the movie, to be fair, it was made in 94, but it's a period piece from the 1960s. So a lot of like the tropes and everything they use in it are from the 1960s. However, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, it doesn't mean that there was good portrayal in the media of this in 1994. There was not. Okay. The next is Mars Attacks. Please tell me you know Mars Attacks.
I don't know why it sounds like familiar to me, or it just sounds like a bunch of other movie titles. Yeah, like I think I've seen it.
Because it's so bad. In my opinion. So again, I saw this a long time ago, and it was one of those movies that was on telly, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna watch it because it's on, and like, I don't know if I'd be allowed to watch this. So many regrets. So it's like a spoof of 50s science fiction, and it's out, honestly, it came out a month after Independence Day. So It's like a spoof of Independence Day. And that was a pure coincidence.
Amazing.
But again, stacked cast. Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
We have Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Danny DeVito, Pierce Brosnan, Michael J. Fox, Sarah Jessica Parker, Natalie Portman in like one of her first like teenage film roles, and Martin Short. Like,
whoa.
Yeah. Still terrible. The design for it is really cool, and like the Martians like terrify me. You've probably seen them. They're like the guys with just brains, and like they have yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's all you need, because his brains are like seared into your brain. Oh boy. Okay, buckle up. I'm gonna adjust my posture. Buckle up. So next we have Sleepy Hollow.
I'm just trying really hard to see if I remember them, because all these titles sound very like familiar.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, like it's more likely for me with the movies I tend to watch that I have not seen it.
Well, it's funny, like sometimes the movies, like some of these movies, you don't realize that they're Tim Burton movies. Obviously he has such a clear aesthetic, but I don't know. It's like the Mandela effect tried to erase some of these from our brains. So Sleepy Hollow was 1999, and this movie I think is Tim Burton's like, this is the first time he's done like a period film. Like this takes place in like the, oh god, when, I don't know when, 1700s?
Yeah, with like Les Mis era.
Yeah, that's Les Mis era, thank you. I'm not good with dates. And it's done so well. It's Colleen Atwood does the costumes again, and they're just stunning, and he captures like the period so well. And it is so much fun. I recently had Tim and Ted watch it, who are our friends, because we do a little movie club every week, and I I made them watch this and Dark Shadows. And the point of that was we were doing one good movie and one bad movie. Sleepy Hollow is a good movie. I love this movie because Johnny Depp gives such a unique performance. And I say that because I was thinking in this, I couldn't help but think about Johnny Depp. Because Johnny Depp is someone who unfortunately got so stuck in a character. I remember one of my professors at school saying that she had a girl once who played Sally Bowles, and she just was Sally Bowles forever after that. She got so stuck in the character. That's how I feel about Johnny Depp and Captain Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this was pre that, and you can tell the difference. I actually think that you would really enjoy his performance in this, Katie. He's like so weird and quirky, but it's not off-putting. He's really endearing. But it's not like Edward Scissorhands at all, because he's really smart and he's really motivated in this. So yeah. Yeah. This movie is a blast. There is a content warning. There are many heads that get cut off. The tagline for the poster is "Heads will roll."
Oh my god.
Which is how you know what you're getting into.
I feel like that literally sums up like Tim Burton. It's like because now the poster is fresh in my head, and like the dark vibe of it, and then the like the little quip of like,
that. Heads will roll. It should be said that Christopher Walken should not have been cast as the Headless Horseman. Because all I can hear, so Christopher Walken is the Headless Horseman. The worst design choice in the world was to give him these like filed down fangs as teeth. But when he sees someone, he just goes like, "Rawr!" Like he's obviously just trying to go, "Arr," but in my head I hear it as Christopher Walken, so he's like, "Arr."
It's still his iconic voice, but doing oh my god, I can hear it now. I've never legitimately heard it, but I can hear it.
There's one point in the movie when he goes, and it's like through his like fang teeth, but it's like, shush. So next. So right now we're getting into 2000s.
These I don't know.
Huh?
These ones, oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, you might not know this one. So he did Planet of the Apes.
Oh wait, no, I feel like I might have heard that.
He did the 2001 version of Planet of the Apes. I have never seen it, but after watching the trailer, I long to see this dumpster fire. Katie, guess who is the main, like, hero in this?
Is it like an actor or?
It is an actor, yes. Think like an actor that does like action movies, but oh my god.
2000s. Ooh, Matthew McConaughey.
No. It's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, whoa. Oh, that makes so much more sense.
It's Mark freaking Wahlberg in this sci-fi movie where he lands on a different planet, and it's the Planet of the Apes, and it just looks like, oh my god, it looks like garbage. But the apes are all practical effects. It's all makeup. There's no CGI, which is
heck yeah.
Or a very limited amount of CGI, which I respect because I hate all CGI things. So this is actually where Tim Burton met Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yes. So eventually down the road they get married and they have 2 kids together. Sadly it doesn't work out as of like a few years ago, which breaks my heart. But this starts like, yes, single tear. She's a badass though. She is so, in my mind, she's really underrated. I don't know if I said that to people, they'd be like, what are you talking about? She's in a ton of things. I think she's got range and she's incredibly underrated.
Yeah, I agree. I think I definitely grew up thinking that, and then the more stuff I see her in, especially like lately, I feel like because she's getting away from like Tim's stuff. Yeah. That like she was great in the Crown.
She was amazing in the Crown.
Like yeah.
And you know what? I think you're right about that. Like I feel like she wouldn't have been able to do the Crown if she was with Tim.
Maybe yeah.
She would have been in like even worse. She would have been in Dumbo. Oh my god. Next up is Big Fish. Have you ever seen Big Fish, Katie?
I've heard of Big Fish. It is. Is it a musical too?
Sadly, yes.
I feel like I might have tried to watch it, but I couldn't get through it. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Big Fish, I haven't seen in years. So again, might not have aged well. But for me, it's so wholesome. Wholesome content only. Young Ewan McGregor.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I honestly think it's iconic. So you've probably seen it without knowing, but there's a scene in it where Ewan McGregor's character is like, when you meet the one you love, time stops, and that's literally what happens. Like time stops and everything's in a freeze frame, and he like moves the popcorn out of the air that's like flying through the air at a circus to like get to this woman, and that is like, I'm getting emotional. That's a Tim Burton movie moment I live for. Because it's just things like that. While he is so dark and like has all these things, all of his stories, up until a certain point in my imagination, in my mind, come from his heart. And this movie does that. It's a lot because there's so many weird things in it. But it's got Ewan McGregor, Albert Finney, Jessica Lange, Danny DeVito, and a little cameo of Helena Bonham Carter. The movie it's all over the place, but that's what the point is. Because it's about a father and son, and the father and him reconnecting with his father and trying to understand his life, but his father tells so many tall tales and is so exaggerated that the son really can't discern what's true and what's not. And it's sad to watch with the knowledge that Tim Burton made this like right after his father passed. So it's really it's the last of the heart, in my opinion. Because next is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, that's a bummer, kind of.
What were they thinking when they gave Johnny Depp that wig in that movie is the question that keeps me up at night.
Oh, he's so pale. Why did they make him so pale?
He's so pale. When he takes off a hat, he's got these weird little bangs that he looks like he cut himself in quarantine.
Oh, well, is that? Wait, okay. I'm gonna see if I'm making connections. Because in that movie, they, like, because it's more about, like, Willie than, like, Charlie, right?
Yeah.
It's, like, that's father's storyline. Is that because, like, his dad had, like, passed recently, too? With what's his name? You said his name already.
Oh, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. I could see that, like, being in there because that's not something that is ever in Roald Dahl's books.
I'm trying to find the heart in it.
Yeah, I would buy that. But also, so here's the heart. Roald Dahl was a childhood hero of Tim Burton. Okay. So that's why he made James and the Giant Peach and this. Childhood hero. There's the heart. This movie, if you get rid of all the Oompa Loompa songs, it's not bad. I
like it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy it if I watch it. I don't like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like the Gene Wilder film. I don't like that movie. This I think is, like, incredibly well made.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind about that. It's so well made. There's so much. They actually had a chocolate waterfall. So, like, when when they go into the room and it's, like, the forest, the candy forest, all of that is real.
Oh, cool, dude.
So when the actors are, like, eating stuff, it's all real. So after this was Corpse Bride, which Wikipedia neglected to mention. And yeah, I'm not okay with that. Because so Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, technically, yes, was the first Tim Burton movie I saw, but then this was my introduction to his world. So Corpse Bride is amazing. I did so many drawings of this, and like I said, this was my way into the dark stuff. So he actually wrote a book called The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. And I received this for Christmas, and it put me on, like, this whole track of, like, art I'd never ever done before. And not, like, messed up, like, our kidneys help kind of art. Like, all these cool little characters. He had another collection called Tim Burton's Terrible Toys for Girls and Boys. It was, like, I don't know, the kid who had, the kid who had nails for eyes.
Okay.
So I did my own little series of drawings for that, and yes, it set me off on, like, a whole world of art and stuff. So I'm also thinking about Corpse Bride right now. You know the skeleton with the one eye that goes round and round, and all the stuff with the eyes? I wonder if that was, like, a little jab at Disney.
Oh my gosh. I hope so.
Because this is the first stop motion he directed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
I hope it was that. And something I also love about this, the first, like, half of the film's in black and white, but they didn't film it in black and white. They made all of the characters in black and white.
Oh yeah, cool.
The details. So next, we're getting towards the end. Next was Sweeney Todd.
Yes!
Yeah! Heck yeah! I love this movie.
Our boys collide.
Oh, I know! I love this movie. I do not care what anyone says. I think, personally, it is a better version of the stage show. In my opinion, he cut out the stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, he cut out the ensemble, and he cut out the freaking Beatles singing, like, "Dow, diddle, dow, day," gone. And this is, like, prime, unapologetic, I'm gonna get gory Burton. It's
Ooh, yeah.
fabulous. And the choice of color in it is also amazing. So he does this thing in Sleepy Hollow. We see this in Sleepy Hollow early on, his only other like period film. This is like a revamped version of that, because he did it with Sleepy Hollow. It was amazing. And then he perfects it with this. In Sleepy Hollow, everything's like black and white except for the blood, which is like really, really red. In this, same thing.
Super red.
I did not know that Johnny Depp was nominated for an Academy Award for his role as Sweeney Todd, but honestly, I love it for him. Yeah, I love this, and I appreciate that he took on like the scale of Sondheim.
Yeah, a big one.
Yeah, and it's his version of Sondheim. You know, it's not like the movie version of West Side Story.
Totally. A marriage of the two.
It is a marriage of the two. And it's so good.
It's so good.
Yes. What do you think as a Sondheim fan? What do you think of this adaptation?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I've never seen the stage production.
Okay.
Yeah, because Sondheim, honestly, that's like immediately who I think of when I hear you talk about Tim Burton, is like my love for Sondheim. Like if I ever did another solo episode, it would probably, like, I could do one on him if I was going to do a biographical one. Because like there's shows of his that I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I probably could. There's so many of them, like, so many of them are just recorded already. Like, the productions of them were recorded and just on YouTube. So there might be a Sweeney Todd somewhere.
No, there is. There's Angela Lansbury and, I don't remember who else, but it's Angela Lansbury, and it's like the OG, like, 80s production of Sweeney Todd. Honestly, watch that, and then watch this. They're different worlds completely. It's insane.
I don't know how to describe it. It's because like the story is already so dark. I think kind of like you said, and so it's nice that like Burton got to just like lean into that like part of it that creates things, and but there still is that like element of like whimsy, and there's heart to the story like already.
Yep. So the thing is, leaning into the dark is such a good way to put it, because if you watch the Sondheim version, it doesn't lean into that.
Yeah.
It's such a like glossed over thing,
right?
And it's like, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is what someone's throat. Oh, there's a pie. In Burton, it's like, let's get in there.
Like it's you're in it all like the whole time, and you know that. Like, yeah, whenever I've seen pictures or videos of stage productions of it, it seems like that, like you said, glossed over. Like it just seems plain, and like the story's just being told and not.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that this movie actually like radically changed the way that people do stage productions of it. Because I think after this came out, no one was going to do it the way that it was done before. Like a really good example is that Emma Thompson plays Mrs. Lovett in this like PBS version, and it's bonkers.
I think I've seen a clip of her doing It's Priest. Hello, Priest.
Oh yeah, but it's also crazy. Like that show starts and like someone bangs a drum and they all run out stage and somebody like marks something with blood. It's bonkers. I loved it. That was so long ago. But the same thing, like the Broadway version with Patti LuPone is like not what that was before, and they lean into that dark. And then the one with Carolee Carmello and Norm Lewis was in a pie shop. I love Sweeney Todd, if you couldn't tell. And then we get to the one, the only, where your eye roll for Tim Burton may come in, Alice in Wonderland. So this begins his dealings with Disney. And through his, in my opinion, I don't know a lot about his relationship nowadays with Disney. But I see it as a kind of sellout in a way. Not calling him out on that. You have to do what you have to do to creatively survive in an industry. And I like to think about that every time I see like a celebrity on an ad for TV. I'm like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. Because Hollywood likes to phase out people. Mm-hmm. This is like the beginning of that. There are trickles of him and the original concept art, but this is so CGI'd, so colorful, so acid trippy. Don't even get me started on Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter. So yeah, that movie hit like middle school Grace though She loved it. I had hats like from Claire's with like Alice in Wonderland on it. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. What were your perceptions of that one, if I may ask?
I feel like I've watched it a few times. Like I've seen it a couple of times. I mean, as I've gotten older, I've fallen into the public's perception of it, of like, oh, like, but it's still like I would be incorrect, I feel, to say that the world of Alice in Wonderland combined with Tim Burton doesn't make sense. Like the idea in and of itself.
Exactly. Yep. And I wish he did that in his earlier work. Like, if he did a Alice in Wonderland around the time maybe he did, like, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, it would be one of the greatest films ever made. It would be up there with, like, Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. Because it would be... The problem with Disney is you're making it for kids.
Yeah. And two, it goes back, I think, for me at least, to what you said about, he has such a history of, like, puppetry and makeup. And there's so much CGI in Alice in Wonderland that it's like painful to watch.
But you can tell it's something he still cared about, because if you look at the concept art, it's there, like it's all his idea, it's all there. But like, I hate Helena Bonham Carter's like big head in it. Like,
I forgot about that. So bad.
It's so bad. There's so much we don't need in that. And that's like, I don't want to say it's where it becomes cheap, but it kind of does. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It gets cheap.
And Alice is boring.
The next one's Dark Shadows. And that's, I don't even want to give my energy to Dark Shadows. It is a fun movie for for the viewers. I made my roommates Katie and our other roommate Debbie watch this for my birthday, and I have no regrets on that. That was so fun. But dear God, it's bad. It's Tim trying to make a movie while still being tied to Disney. His aesthetic is like turned up to 100. The movie is terrible. He didn't have a solid foundation because it's based off the TV show Dark Shadows, and it's in a phase where he was getting into more producing than directing. For example, he produced Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh.
That's all you need to know about that period. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend my time on Dark Shadows. Watch it if you want to be annoyed.
My first time seeing it was when Grace made us for her birthday.
Yep.
Was not fun. It was fun watching it together, but the movie itself isn't fun.
Exactly. It's a friend movie.
Yeah. You laugh at it.
Next is Frankenweenie. Hidden gem, return to stop motion animation, but stop motion made for Walt Disney. It's kind of weird, but there's heart in it. That's the thing. That's why I like it, and that's why it works. There's heart in it, because Frankenweenie was his first OG movie that he made with Disney, and then they were like, get it out.
Love that redemption story.
Exactly. And it's great. One of my best friends just watched it and fell in love with it and cried, so... Next, he made a movie called Big Eyes with Amy Adams and Christoph Waltz. Yeah, everyone forgets about Big Eyes.
I do forget that was him. I've seen
exactly. Well, so Big Eyes returns to the biopic. What?
I thought of that movie when I looked at Christina Ricci on the poster for Sleepy Hollow. I was like, oh, her face is like that movie with Amy Adams. Oops.
Amazing. This movie is fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's fine. He gets his little weird touches in through the art created by Margaret Keane, and I think that fits as him as an artist. I think Amy Adams is good. I think Christoph Waltz is good. Yeah. I appreciate that he goes back to doing a biopic because it's the same writers as Ed Wood. So it's kind of his hand at that again, and it's different for him, and it's good. It had good reviews. I think got some Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
But after that, terrible. We have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Didn't even bother. I wasn't. Nope. And then we got Dumbo, and here we are.
He said Dumbo. And we got Dumbo.
Here we are. Yeah. I'm not even gonna bother watching that. Maybe it's good. I don't know. I just can't stand the CGI, the plastered, lens of it. And apparently his next project with them is rumored to be Bambi.
Oh, back to like Fox and the Hound origin.
I don't want it personally. I don't want put that thing back where it came from.
Oh, help me.
Yeah. So what my wish and my hope for Tim Burton, I will end on this note. Actually, if you go to Wikipedia, there's a whole page called Unrealized Projects. Because there are so many he started and didn't get the chance to complete and didn't work on it. And I find that relatable. The amount of as an artist, the amount of like unfinished projects I have, my life is an unfinished project. I will end on the note that Tim Burton has been a huge impact in my life. I hope you've enjoyed this, me nerding out about it. But my dear hope for him is that he breaks away from Disney. A la Helena Bonham Carter breaking away from him. He breaks away and he finds his voice once again and finds it in his heart, and he creates something that knocks our socks off. So.
Yeah, I'm into that. I want that for him too. Thank you, Grace. This was a lovely learning experience. Well,
thank you so much.
Happy Virgo season, everybody.
Happy Virgo season. Be loud.
And happy Halloween, maybe, if this is the Halloween episode.
Thank you so much, Katie, for letting me nerd out. I appreciate it. I didn't want to be throwing too much information at you.
No, it was great. Do you have anything else you want to plug, Grace?
No, just subscribe, like and subscribe to Famous Secret Agent. I have a short coming out on there. And it's been so much fun to work on, and I love my friends.
Yeah. I love my friends. That's a good note to end on. I love my friends. Thank you everyone for listening. Maybe thank you for watching. And thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Okay, bye everybody.